Now to a major legal win for Sean Diddy Combs. The judge has dismissed multiple charges and a $30 million lawsuit.
The lawsuit, brought by music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, accused Combs of unwanted sexual contact and forcing him to hire sex workers and engage in sex acts. Now, Combs has denied all the allegations. Joining us with more on the ruling is ABC News contributor and attorney Brian Buckmire. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good to see you, Matt.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So what were the claims that were dismissed in this case, and how did the judge come to that decision?
So there's a few claims and for different reasons. The big headline is the RICO allegation that's being dismissed. And the reason for that is not that the judge is saying there is no RICO, but they're saying that in the pleadings, the way in which Jones is arguing that he was harmed, he couldn't connect a theoretical or alleged criminal enterprise with his actual harm. He's saying, yeah, sure, Sean Combs could have had this whole RICO freak-off conspiracy, but you're not showing how that caused him not to pay your contract. So there's no connection to the actual allegations. And then we're talking about emotional distress. That was also dismissed for similar reasons, not being able to plead it out, breach of contract as well. Again, not showing how Sean Combs' alleged actions breached this contract, that he could have theoretically had freak-offs and fulfilled the contract. But also in the end there, the judge says, if you don't file the proper paperwork with two defendants within 2 weeks of this decision, so about a week and a half now, those two defendants will be kicked off the lawsuit altogether.
How big of a deal is this dismissal?
So, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking specifically as to this lawsuit and only this lawsuit, it's a pretty big deal. You've got some of the more serious allegations, and I'd probably say about half of them being dismissed. But then when you take a step back and you say, he's got about like dozens of these lawsuits, and you still got a federal criminal investigation, and none of these dismissals affects those lawsuits, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
All right, Brian, let's talk about the Idaho student murders and the trial of Brian Kohberger. Kohberger has pleaded not guilty. We do want to point that out. More than 30 new court documents were just released. So what stands out to you?
So there are two things. There is the prosecution's desire to use his crime scene scenario final back in 2020. Again, he's a criminologist expert, and so he's in this paper talking about how to not contaminate a crime scene by leaving fingerprints or DNA behind, but also documenting the injuries of a hypothetical 35-year-old white woman. Now, I think they're going to have some difficulty there because simply a student writing a paper and then trying to say like, well, he's this criminal mastermind. If he can write this paper, he must have done it in real life. That's going to be difficult. And there's also this thing about an Amazon account where they're saying that in his account that he purchased a similar knife of the sheath that was found at the crime scene, trying to say that he had access to this Amazon account. He must have purchased it and show evidence that he must have possessed a similar knife, even though there is no record of a knife being found in this case.
Yeah, there's no weapon that's been found in this case as of yet, but investigators and prosecutors say his DNA was discovered on a knife sheath at the crime scene. What do these documents indicate about the evidence prosecutors may present in court?
Yeah. So in a case where you don't have an individual who's arrested at the scene, no video of them committing a crime, you're going to use circumstantial evidence to show that they were at a place, at a time, and committed a specific crime. And using DNA or epithelial or skin cells that we all leave behind on a specific item is a way to say that Brian Kohberger was at this place, the crime scene where these brutal murders occurred, and also participated in it because he must have touched that knife sheath, what they believe to be the murder weapon.
And you talked about the knife and the Amazon shared account. Does that mean his family will have to testify?
So someone's going to have to testify because the defense is saying that that Amazon account belonged to everyone. I think we all have that. I get Amazon purchases for women's makeup in my name, and I go, sweetheart, is this yours? And she's like, yeah, that's mine. We share our account. We use our different names. But I think the difficulty with this argument is if someone in Brian Kohberger's house bought the knife, then the question becomes, okay, provide the knife. Let's see the knife that you have. And if you don't have it, why is it missing? It could lead to a very slippery slope that I think could be detrimental to the defense, but we'll see how it plays out in trial.
And again, we should mention that Kohberger's attorneys maintain that he is innocent. Brian, again, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And by the way, don't forget to catch Brian on his ABC News podcast, Bad Rap, the case against Diddy, which premiered this week.